Hey. This is Dr. Kit with the Shake Up. I'm AKA Dr. Francis from Love and Marriage, Huntsville. And so I'm coming to you from the nation's capital today. I'm close to the hill, but I'm not on the hill right now, but I'm real close to it. So I'm going to tune in and listen to some of the stuff they're talking about, see if we can shake them up on the hill. And so today, listen, I got a good program for you. I always try to have a good program for you. I don't mess around. Listen, this is why we call it the shake up. I'm visiting with some family and friends. I can't tell you who they are because I don't want you to go messing with them now. But they made this smoothie. It sat for a while. And after it sat for a while, all that nice ingredients sank to the bottom. And I was drinking. I said, wait a minute, this thing ain't tasting right. So I shook it up. When you shake things, in relationships, when you let your relationship settle, all the good stuff get to the bottom, you don't get to it. When you shake it up, man, you can enjoy that stuff like it's so good. So today we got a shake up for you, okay? We got a shake up for you. Shake up with Dr. Kit, AKA Dr. Francis from Love and Marriage, Huntsville. Listen, today we got a great show for you. I have this person. She is a wonderful, wonderful person. You're going to enjoy her this evening. So I'm going to tell you what you need to do. Here's what you need to do. You need to like, follow, share, subscribe. Like, follow, share, subscribe, or like, follow. See, I like to do my little dance. Like, follow, shake, subscribe. See, I like to, you think I'm crazy. So you get more people to watch it in this thing, okay? So anyway, we're going to shift that thing aside right now and get down to why we're here. And so my guest this evening is a wonderful person. And you know me, I will mess them up if I try to introduce them. I don't even mess up their names. Nothing's worse than having somebody mess your name up. You don't have to talk to those people no more. So here I am. I'm going to let my guest, tell you about, she's here. Okay, look at her. Just look at her. Listen, folks. Listen, you can't tell, but she funny. She is so funny. Listen, she got some of the funniest jokes on the planet. Listen, don't shake your head. You know it's true. I mess with you every week. I said, wait.
Hello, good evening. How are you?
Yeah, I'm fine. Listen, Karlecia, wonderful. Good to have you on the Shake Up today. Listen, I hope at the end of this you don't say, man, I made a mistake going on. Say that.
Oh,
if you do, my credibility is gone as shit.
No.
Listen, so let me tell you this before she comes on. Listen, if you really want to be a part of this show, let me tell you before she says it. If you want to be a part of the show, what you need to do for future consideration, you need to email drkitspeaks@gmail.com, and my team will get you on, and you can come on and you can talk about a whole lot of stuff. Okay, really important things for human nature, human growth and development, and relationship. The email drkitspeaks@gmail.com. My team will get you on, and I will tell you this now. Listen, we don't talk trash on here.
Okay.
It's all really serious things. Okay, yeah. Very meaningful things, and so you can either be on camera or you can be off camera. We don't mind. We'd rather have you on camera, but if you're a little bit shy and halfway through said, hey, can I get on camera? Hit that button, you're right up there. Smiling all like this. So anyway, welcome, Karlecia. Go ahead and talk to us.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm really, really excited to be here.
Okay, we're glad to have you. All right. Listen, why don't you just go ahead and introduce yourself and just give the people a sense of what you want to talk about tonight and why it is so near and dear to your soul.
Okay.
And you talk about how you did this, your business, all that kind of stuff. Okay.
All right. So my name is Karlecia Swan. I have a bachelor's and a master's degree in social work, and so that is my background. I do a lot of things. So I I do a lot of things. So
Yeah.
I have a nonprofit organization that I started in 2008. We actually turned 15 years old this month.
Yay, Karlecia.
So yes, and so my nonprofit is geared towards adolescent girls
Okay.
and mentoring and helping build self-esteem.
Oh, okay.
And so that is really near and dear to me because I have dealt with self-esteem issues in my adolescence and some in my adulthood, if I'm honest. So I do that. Then I also have a group home in the Madison County area where we provide residential services for individuals with intellectual disabilities.
Oh, okay.
So I
Wonderful.
do that. Then I became an author in 2020.
You have your book? You want to talk? You want
I
to
got the book.
show your book?
Boom.
Okay, okay,
I got the
okay,
book.
okay. Hold on.
Um,
What's open? What's inside the pages of? What's inside
so
the
this
cover of
book,
the book?
okay, so this book is an affirmations book. It's
Yeah.
40 days of positive affirmations.
Ooh.
And I wrote it in 2019 after my father passed away.
Oh,
It
okay.
was a part of my grieving and healing process to write this 40 days of positive affirmations. And then I just published it in 2020.
Okay. Wonderful. Wonderful.
So this goes back to the my nonprofit where I try to help adolescent girls with their self-esteem. So this is attached to that. And then I act. I consider myself a working actress. um, um,
What
uh,
do you act? Come on, Kyle. What do you act? I know. Listen, Karlecia, I know you act crazy, but what else do you act? You know.
okay, so most recently,
Yeah.
actually this past last Monday, a week ago, I was actually filming a television show in Knoxville. It's one of those reenactment shows.
Okay.
So
Is that all
I
you can
did
tell us
that.
about that? Is that all you're going to tell us about that?
Well, I can't. Well, you know,
Okay. Okay. I understand.
these things are touchy because you go and you film, but you don't really know if you're gonna make the final cut. So it's like you don't want to just say, "Hey, I'm gonna be on such and such," and then when people tune in, it's like they cut my part out. So I just,
Okay. All right. I got you. I got you. I got you.
but I've been on some other things in the past or whatnot. So yeah, I do a little bit of that. Um and my journey to even following that dream is connected to my self-esteem.
Okay.
So um I it's all kind of intertwined where when I was growing up, I wanted to be an actress, but I didn't think I was good enough or I didn't think I could do it. And so I never pursued it. And so it wasn't until after I kind of got my self-esteem in check was I able to actually follow my passions and my purpose.
Let's quick question.
Yeah.
When you were growing up, what was it about you
Hmm.
that made you decide? Because social work, you know how that works.
Yeah.
There was something about you that made you decide that
Hmm.
you were not good enough. Because a lot of times we might think it's because of what other people are saying, but
Hmm.
there's something kind of resident inside of us that make us feel, and this is all talking about all the great stuff you're doing now, self-esteem. Can you identify that? I mean, are you willing to just turn a flip a couple of pages on that?
Right. So, um, okay. So let me give you a little background
Okay,
on
right ahead.
me growing up.
Right.
So, Christian home, Adventist home, two-parent home. There was there was no negative vibes, so to speak, in my household.
Right.
We were always positive, upbeat. My parents poured into me, they encouraged me, they showed love, all of those things. So um it wasn't my household that,
Okay.
you know what I mean? It wasn't that. So honestly, I can't pinpoint exactly, but I do know that growing up, I was different. I felt like I was different from my friends. I had freckles. That wasn't a thing back then, having freckles and being uniquely, having unique looks. That wasn't a thing like it is now.
Right. Right.
So I had freckles, I had red hair. Um, Looking back, I felt like I was bigger than my friends. But I look at pictures now and I'm like, what was I thinking? I was not like that big. You know what I mean? It wasn't that. So it was outside sources, people or friends who would just make fun of me, you got freckles or you got spots on your face or that kind of thing it just did a number on me. I don't think my parents even realized that I had low self-esteem. I don't even think they realized I did. I was able to, I guess, hide it in a way,
Mhm.
to where they didn't really. It wasn't something that it was talked about. How's your self-esteem, or it wasn't. It wasn't any of that. So, um, I would say, I don't know, I don't think I suffered in silence, so to speak, but it was just something that I dealt with, just my thoughts about how I felt about myself.
Yeah, yeah, that's good. But we're talking about internal strength, regardless of whether you knew it or not. But it was there, and you were able to activate it. So, so do you know what it was about you that was going on the inside? There's nothing on the outside. The home as well. They poured into you, all this kind of stuff. So where was Karlecia in all of this on your growth and development that made you say, like, I am not good enough, the freckles and everything else and the color of the hair. I mean, what was going on deep on the inside of you that made you because I'm just wondering the degree to which you embrace that if you were actually turning on yourself.
Mm, I never even thought about it like that, but that's what it was. That's what it is, because I'm looking at who I am now.
Yeah.
I've always been.
Right.
So it's something about, I don't know, it's something about negative thought patterns, and
Yeah.
just you could have 100 people tell you, you're great, but it could be one person who says, I don't think you're great, and you'll gravitate to that one
Yeah.
thing and make it your whole identity. And I
Yeah.
think that is just what happened.
Right.
And because, to be honest, like I said, I can't really pinpoint a moment where it changed or where it turned, but I do know that um I don't want to say it's a part of life, but statistically, adolescents and teen girls, we go through a period of self-esteem, low self-esteem in our development. And that's why I felt so compelled to start my mentoring organization, my nonprofit, because I wanted to try to help give skills and tools to combat that, because more than likely they're going to feel that inadequacy in some shape or form. And so I wanted to be able to be a part of their lives in terms of giving them tools and tips on how, when this happens, how you can change your mindset back to being positive.
Yeah. Thank you. So they were asking, can you see that?
Yeah, I
That's
can. I
that's the
can
right.
work. No, no, I am not an only child. I have one older brother.
Okay. One
So,
older brother. Okay.
mhm.
Listen. So here you are then talking about the things that happened. You don't know when it changed. Now I've spoken to some when I do like the family therapy side, and
Mhm.
when I talk with young guys, and I read something from a developmental psychologist some time ago, said that you live in this skin,
Mhm.
this body, for 2, 4, 6, 8 years, even 10. And by the time you get to 12 and
Yeah.
puberty start to come on,
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
whole body image start to change.
Yeah.
And it didn't give you any warning. You wake up one morning, you see different things about you, all this kind of stuff, and
Yeah.
you're going to say, "Wait a minute, but I'm used to all of this stuff now. Who is this person?
Yeah.
Are
Yeah.
people
That's
gonna
true.
like me the way?" I mean, I mean, is did you go through that? And is this some of the kind of thing that you deal with when you talk to these young girls?
Yeah, I think that's a very good point. In terms of like my freckles, to my recollection, didn't show up until I was 8. So I was used to a face without
Right.
freckles, and then they appear. It's like whoa, whoa, whoa. What helped though was my mom. She has freckles, so I was able to look at another woman who looked like me, um I felt okay with that. But here again, as a child, if I'm honest, I was always thinking, well, my mom has to tell me I'm beautiful, right? Like she has to because she's my mom. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
like,
But oh, Susie Joe over there going, ah.
right, right, right. She might be telling the truth when she say I'm not cute. You know what I mean? So it's that debate, and it's also during that time period you want the approval of your friends and other people. So I think that struggle is really what the struggle is,
Okay.
that desire to want acceptance,
Right. So is there a correlation between accepting you for who you are? You know, because you would never know you had freckles if there never was a reflecting tool like a mirror.
right,
Right? So you
right,
look in this mirror and you see
right,
these things, and if everybody else in the world had them, you'll be saying, "Oh, I'm just normal like everybody else." But it's an anomaly. It's different. So how do you get to the point where you can say, "Listen, I accept me as I am, even when I'm not affirmed by other people"? How
mhm,
do you get to that?
correct. And fast forward, that is where I am right now.
Oh, okay.
Like,
Talk about that. Oh man.
it takes practice, to be honest. Like anything, it takes practice. Um, I think once I realized that not being okay with who I am was more uncomfortable than choosing to be okay with who I am and what I look like and all of those things. It was more uncomfortable not being okay with that.
Okay, can you is there any more explanation that you can give to that? And the reason I'm saying this is because the people that are watching you now becomes the voice of their inner self, and of not just their thinking, but of their feelings and their experience about themselves. And they want to know, how can I elevate and rise above where I am to where I can get to where Karlecia is, and be bold and self-accepting, and don't worry about what other people might be thinking about me. How-
Yeah. Um it takes a lot. Like you have first of all, you really do have to recognize that you're not okay with who you are.
oh, okay.
Because sometimes we can put on such a front for so long that we actually think we're okay with who we are, but we're not. And we do that by doing things that are not in keeping with who we really are. Like we do things to for approval of others. We
Yeah.
live life based on what you want me to do and not myself. We do these things in pretending to be okay with who we are. And you feel unsettled. You feel unsettled, and when I was saying it's more uncomfortable, is because you have to figure out, okay, how am I going to pretend today?
Oh, by my.
That it's too much. It's too much to try to figure out what attribute of someone else am I going to pretend that that's mine, and try to do that, and then you end up failing because that's not who you are.
Right.
So you don't ever really have a true happiness within, because
Right.
it's always something that you're trying to pretend that you are and you're not.
Right.
And when I got to a point where I was just like, this is not cool, because the other thing is like, it's like lying. When you tell a lie, you have to remember the lie. And when people, how
Right.
you mess up is you forget the lie you told when you're trying to retell something else. You forgot.
Yeah.
Wait a minute,
Yeah.
you said, you forget.
Yeah.
And so if on Monday you're this, and on Tuesday you're this, but come Wednesday, you forgot what Tuesday, Monday. So now it's something else, and it's a contradiction. And it just really gets tiresome. And I just wasn't, for me, I didn't feel like I was fulfilling my God given purpose. And because I am a believer, that's important for me, to learn who I am through the eyes of God, one, and then walk in that. And so you have to just get to a point where you recognize that you're not okay with who you are, and then you have to get into, if you're a believer, you have to get into the word and find out what he says about you, and then you align your thoughts and your vision and the path you want to walk on based on that.
Mm. Thank you. Listen, I'm going to ask you this question, then we can, because I really want to get into your how you work with these young folks. But
Okay.
but your story is really intriguing. You know, it really, really is. I believe some of the best books on the planet are people's life experiences. You know,
Hmm.
I was talking with this woman. She said she grew up poor.
Hmm.
And she didn't have she'd wear the same clothes to school every day.
Hmm.
And after a while, the kids would laugh at her. And she had a friend, was kind of a best friend, who was more affluent than she was. Okay.
Hmm. Hmm.
And here's how she rescued herself. Here's what she did. She would have her friend bring different, she was about the same size, bring her clothes to school, different outfit every day.
Hmm. Hmm.
They'd go in the restroom. She would take her clothes off and put her friend's clothes on. And do you know, just that little thing changed her life, because they didn't see her as this kind of a rag doll, one outfit. They started to see her as and so somebody said, wow, what lie am I telling when I get out of the house in the morning? And so the question is, while that works, but you
Hmm.
have to live with the fact that, wait a minute, this is really not me. And so I'm uncomfortable with who I am, but I create a comfort zone by creating a facade out
Yeah.
here. And,
Yeah.
and you're right, you can only life for so long, right?
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
You can only
For
life for so
sure.
long. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that was creative. If you look at the other side of that, that was a very creative thought.
Yeah.
And hopefully she can tune into being creative in
Yeah.
another way. But you're right, that is a facade, because that is not you. But at that age, I mean, some things she can't help that she's poor,
Right.
so in that regard, I mean, some you fake it till you make it in that respect,
Right. 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 Right.
because she doesn't have the means to provide for herself. So um I can see how that would help for a moment in that time period. Yeah.
Can you talk now about the first lady, and also about working with these young, vulnerable women, young girls, who are really women on the inside. You don't just become a woman because you've grown. You have all the fundamentals of being a woman, but where you are on the growth and developmental continuum, all of those aspects are not developed. And people don't see you as a woman, they just see you as a female. But
Yeah.
indeed, you are a woman at a different stage in your
Right.
life.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
so how are you working with these young girls, these young women, at, in your business?
So when we first started, I did this, I would have workshops, and we did our first set of, it was a 12-week program at one of the local elementary schools.
Okay,
And so what we do self-esteem building workshops.
okay,
We talk about friendship building, how to be a good friend, how to choose friends. All of these things play a part in your self-esteem development. Etiquette, confidence building, even how to find your purpose,
mhm,
early. And so we would gather. I usually don't like large groups because I really like to try to get one on one with each of the young ladies. So
right, right,
typically, no more than 20, no more than 20 at these different workshops. Then I've done summer camps, which I have a summer camp coming up in June, where it'll be some of the same things. I like to also invite women from the community to come and share their experiences as it relates to what they do and help with building self esteem. One, I do believe in affirmations and putting out to yourself positive things that either you want to become or what you want to see grow in you. Write them down and repeat them. There's a array and a lot of different activities that can be done to help build self-esteem. One of the things I do believe is, as it relates to like failure and succeeding, is to try new things and see what you're good at. And the things that you're
yeah,
good
yeah,
at,
mm,
you keep
right,
doing those things. The things that you find challenging that you may not be so good at, while I don't say don't do it, keep trying, but try to do things or new things and see what you're good at and develop those skills.
mhm. So let me
Mhm.
ask you, in all of this hard work that you're doing with children, okay, um, where do where do parents fit into this as a continuity of you at home for the great stuff you're doing when they come to you?
So that is a very great question. What I have found in the past
Yeah.
is that these young girls will become empowered, right?
Yes.
And then their environment has not grown with them.
Yes.
And
Yes.
so it does pose a some sort of a conflict as it relates to their growth and then their environment. What I encourage parents to do, I give them all of the information that we're working on in hopes that they will work on it themselves
Mhm.
so that there is some type of togetherness in the growth. While that's not always realistic, I do believe it's important for um, adults or parents or whomever is their guardian
Right.
to be open, to their growth if they're not on the same path. What I have found as well is that the things that I try to share or give knowledge on, adult women such as myself, we need it. We need it even at this stage.
Okay. Yes.
Um,
Okay. So, so summer camp for little ladies,
yeah,
summer camp for big ladies. So where are we with that?
I have not grown to that yet. Um, but I've thought about it, and so I'm there's you have to be you have to be really sensitive in these
Yeah,
areas,
yeah,
because while I am not ashamed to say that I have struggled with self-esteem, and even some of my adult life, I've struggled with self-esteem in the past. um that's not really something that women just
yeah.
say, I struggle with
Absolutely,
self-esteem today, right now. That's
absolutely.
not something that, so putting together something like that, I don't know how received it will be, if I'm just being honest,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You're right, because it's kind of a hard for some people to kind of go into the mirror of their mind and hold that mirror up and say, "Oh,
yeah.
this is me," and then to be accepting
Right,
of
right.
that. You know,
And with and the way social media is now, um you the things that we see, and the things that women put out there, that is not necessarily real, but it is portrayed as being real. It's a lot to have to manage. It's a lot to manage mentally, just in general. It's a lot to manage, and to
right,
decipher what's real and what's not, and how do I as a woman fit into these spaces with my real self. you know it's a lot to manage.
right. You know, I think you're doing a really good job. You know, when I was in high school, I ran track, and I think one of the most tactical races in track is the relay. You know, so I've
Mhm.
dispensed all the other stuff. But one of the things about a relay is there's two very important things. The success of the relay is not just about how fast you can run, it's how well you pass the baton. It's
Yes.
how well, and in order for you to pass the baton, you know what it requires? Practice, 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 practice.
Yeah.
You know, and this
Yeah.
is why sometimes they don't switch up who passes it to who, because if number three was passing to number four, but all of a
Mhm.
sudden they switch to take number three, put number three at number two position.
Right.
But, you know, and so, but there's this comfort with number three and number four, and I'm just wondering, because I think you are doing such an amazing job when you have these young ladies, okay, at a position, and you practice, practice, practice with them, to where when Miss Karlecia says this, they
Yeah.
and you pass it on, and they're
Yeah.
willing to take this baton from you. And inside this baton is a lot of information and wisdom. What happens to you when you see the smile on these little girls'
Yeah.
face?
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, what happens then? Do you see them accepting and even being more willing to participate in their own growth and acceptance and acclamation of themselves? Do you see it?
I actually, sometimes I don't see it, right?
Okay.
I just, I pray that what I'm sharing is going to stick, and that they'll go on and be empowered, right? In the way that they want to, as they live their life. It's also really, what's the word, fulfilling, when I do get to see the evidence of something that I have shared. But a couple of years ago, I was asked to speak at, it was a girls' conference, a locally. I was asked to speak, and so naturally I accept. And then when I got there, um, two speakers alongside me, two of them had gone through my summer camps, and they're
Ooh,
now they're
yeah.
now presenting at the same conference I'm presenting at.
You
And I'm
just
just
pass the
like,
baton. Passing the
that's
baton.
the baton. Exactly. And so I could have just cried when I saw them. And they both told me that because you shared and poured into us, we want to do the same for the younger girls that come after them. And that, I mean, listen, that's what you want. That is what you want. And so that kind of gave me the push to kind of keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going.
Oh man, that is a tremendous story.
Yeah.
Somebody to pour it into you. They gave you the baton.
Yeah.
You developed that and you poured it into them.
Yep.
You gave them the baton. And so now they're on the same stage with you, passing the baton
Same.
on to
Yes.
somebody else. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying? That is an amazing, oh, that experience has just got to be great
Yeah.
when they say, listen, because of
Yes.
you. Isn't
Yes.
that nice?
That's it. And I actually have on my vision board
Uh-huh.
a statement that says, I want to be, if I can remember exactly, I want to be so inspiring to someone else that because of me they don't give up, or because of me they are able to follow their goal and their passion. So that's kind of how I really want to live out my life, is to do things. I've had a saying for a while now that I do it scared, right? um and it ties again into self-esteem. So because of self-esteem issues, I didn't do a lot of things that I felt I wanted to do, but because I was too fearful of not doing well, or what will people think, or I'm not good enough, I didn't do it. And just being fearful. So now it's do it scared. I may be scared, but if it aligns with my purpose and passions and dreams, I'm just going to do it even if I'm scared. And so I just want to be um someone who inspires people to walk their own path, to walk in what God has for them, and boldly do that with a positive and a healthy amount of self-esteem.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Oh, man. Karlecia, I can just, and I'll say this, as many young girls as you have worked with, do you know how many of those young girls, and maybe all of those young girls, you changed their lives? They are in school. They're
Yeah,
not locked up. They're not out
that's
there
true.
running the streets. They're not on drugs, all because of you. Now you see how many people that you can impact. And like you said, when you continue to pass and pass, what you're really doing is building your relay team, just adding
Hmm.
more people to the relay, to the relay, to the relay.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, and I think that is amazing. That is amazing. That is amazing. All right, listen, as we begin to wrap this thing up, listen, what do you want to tell these young girls? And the other thing about that is, while you're telling them, what do you want to tell people out there about affirming these young girls who are so valuable, but yet
Yeah.
so brittle sometimes?
Yes. Yes.
You know,
Yes.
so what do you want to tell these young girls? And then what do you want to tell people who may have the tendency to mock them and put them down? And you know, and half the time the reason I put people down is because that's where I am in my own experience.
Yes. So let's start with that part.
Yeah.
Because before, the young girls come from older girls, older women. And I think you're onto something when you ask the question about their parents or their mothers, and
Yeah.
how it relates to, their growth versus the daughter's growth when she goes through the program. I really feel that it is important for moms and women that are in young girls' life to be an example. You are an example. Now, what you're giving off is the question, whether it's a good example um, or a bad example. We have to be conscious of what we're putting out, because they look up to us. They
Yeah.
look up to us. They see what we're doing. They see how we feel about ourselves. And if you don't feel good about yourself, why should I feel good about me? Why am I so different from you if you, as an older person, are lacking in this area? So I think it's important that women, we kind of get our levels in check as well. And then I would just say to the young girl, you matter, and who you are right now can be developed into even more greatness. And
Yeah.
that you don't have to do you don't have to put on for people to like you, for people to love you. And if no one does right now, that does not change your value. It doesn't change your worth. You're still who God says you are. And even though it may be hard right now to see it, it is still there. And you just have to continue to surround yourself with positive people.
Amen. Amen. Listen, I'm going to say this now. Let you give some of your info out. We're in DC. We have two grandchildren here, and this is graduation time.
Yes.
I'm not
Yes.
asking you to say whether you do or you don't. You don't have to put yourself on the line like that. But I can just picture some of those, close my eyes, picture some of those little young girls just walking across the stage, and you just give them a little something and they just take it home and they just
Mhm.
look at that, and it just means so much to them. When they graduate from your 12-week program. Now I know it may take a little bit of money, but listen, God's got some money out there somewhere, that you can put on a little graduation for those little kids. Listen, I ain't trying to tell you nothing now. I'm not
Well,
trying to
let
give
me
you a
tell you.
business.
Well, let me tell you. I think it was 2017. I did a fall camp, and I called it Dreamers Preparatory.
Okay.
And I had, at the end of the week, I had like a little makeshift graduation. I do certificates and
Yeah.
things, for the girls as well. So yeah, I think it is important to get something that you've successfully gone through a
Yeah.
series of workshops,
Right.
become empowered,
Yeah.
and take that on
Right.
for you for the future. So yeah, I do incorporate those things.
Good. I'm so glad you do that. They put it on their walls. And when they're
Hmm.
in that down moment, and they get that phone call from some sister and say, girl, why don't you come on? And they're just about to jump out the door, and they see this thing here. And they say, and they read this thing that they went through, all that positive stuff they went through, and the accolade that they got, and that thing is slapping them in the face like this. How
Yeah.
powerful would it be for them to pick up the phone and say, you know what? I'm not coming again. You know why? Because they saw their future.
Yes, yes. So let me just say this. As when I speak of this, I always want to pay tribute to my father, who's now passed on. But my camp is called I Have Value, I Have Worth, which is the name of my book. I have value,
Yes.
I have worth.
Yeah.
And
How can they get it? How can they get your book? How can they get it?
this book you can get inspired by kswan.com. Inspired by kswan.com.
All right. Go out and get it, everybody.
But so when I started the organization, I was talking to my dad saying I needed some type of creed or some type of mantra. And so he wrote a poem called I Have Value, I Have Worth. And it just speaks about having value and worth, and that it was given to you at birth and no one can take it away. And so we have a mantra. And so that is something that I also give them in like a plaque that they can put up. So it just all ties into the book here. And I was supposed to have written a book long ago, but I never did. And so
Okay.
when my dad passed away, during the time that I was grieving, it was just on me.
Yeah.
Take this time and write these affirmations. And
Yeah.
so it helped with my grieving process,
Yeah.
and it helped, you know, build my self-esteem back up.
Yeah. Listen,
Uh,
listen. I'm gonna put myself out there right now.
okay.
Your next
Okay.
graduation for your little girls.
Okay.
Please contact me. I
Okay.
might have something for you.
Okay. Okay. Nice. Okay. I got you.
You got me?
I got you.
The oldest book says ask.
Oh, yes.
I might have something for you.
Yes, indeed.
You
Thank
know
you.
why?
Okay.
Because I really want to see you put, I just getting this picture of these little girls, these little women, getting something, maybe they've never had something like that before.
Yeah.
Talking about self-esteem and self-worth. Oh man.
Okay. I got it. I got something working in my mind already.
Good. Good. Good, good, good. Oh, Karlecia, listen, I really want to thank you so, so much for starting us out with, just pulling the veil back from your life and talking about, just parts of your life. And other for other women, it might not be freckles, it might not, but it's
Right.
a metaphor of how what they've done is they close the curtains on their lives and they're hiding behind this curtain, right?
Yeah.
But they're behind the curtain, and
Mhm.
they can't see out because behind the curtain is dark, their lives are
Yeah.
dark. But what you did was you began to open the curtain just a little bit, and there are some women out there who will be willing to continue opening the
Yeah.
curtain until they open it so wide that they'll say, world, here I am, take me, or as I am, and they will
Yeah.
no longer want to do that.
Yeah.
And that is so, so great. And then you talked about what you're doing for these young women, and we talked about the relay team, and I want you to continue, building your relay
Yeah.
team, because they're the young doctors,
Yep.
the young preachers, the young teachers, the young oceanographers,
Yeah.
young astronauts,
Yeah.
a young, just good housewife, good, nice, good person, good
Yeah.
mother.
Yeah.
All of those people, I tell you, you're tapping into the gold mine of this world, and you can turn some folks around. And I appreciate you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Man,
Thank you. I appreciate that.
I appreciate you so much, more than you know. So go ahead as we close out. Tell us how to, tell people how to get in touch with you, and just give them a little blurb again about what you're doing with these young girls. Why? Because they need to be able to contact you and say, how can I get my little girl? And give us the age range that that you're taking. Give them some of that stuff so they can say, listen, I need to call you because.
So the camp is June 19th through the 23rd.
Okay.
The website is firstladyempower.org. The age group is from 8 to 17. Now,
Oh,
let me say this. Let me say this. Um, I like to have my groups small so that we don't lose anybody. Okay. We want
mm,
to really make an impact. So for this camp, I actually have the registration is closed for this camp. Now, I will say this. If there is enough interest, I might be able to do another camp, but I have to have the interest.
yes.
So go to firstladyempower.org. There, you can just peruse the site. You can see what the camp is about, and then there's a way you can message me if you're interested in something later in the after the camp that I'm already doing. Yeah.
And you'll be happy to have somebody else come, some other people come,
Yes, of
and
course.
and join your relay. Join your relay.
Yes,
Just keep.
yes, of course. The joint, yes, of course. Yeah. So like I said, I like to keep, I'm just a part of the community wanting to do my part as it relates to what I can do.
Mm,
And people like to, oh, I had hundreds of this and this many people signed up. While that's great, I know what I can do where I am. And I'm always open for growth naturally. But I really feel like the camps that I do, they're not just babysitting camps.
right.
Like you just drop your kid off and we watch them all day and they play and watch TV. It's not that type of camp. It's a lot of fun, yes, but they're actually learning skills and tools and tips on how to grow as a young adolescent teen into adulthood with tools on just who they are, how to grow into someone positive who also then can give back to the community. And so we do that by a variety of things. Like for the camp, we're going to do a vision board. You're not too young at 8 to do a vision board. What do you like right now? What do you want to achieve on your level? So we do vision boards. We're learning about etiquette. We're learning public speaking and
Oh,
giving you a voice. All of these things play a part. You have to be able to speak and to speak up for yourself, when it's necessary. So just a variety of we'll do affirmations every day. Also, let me just say, in the book I give an affirmation, but then I also have stories,
oh,
tips about that particular affirmation. And it might be a personal story that I've gone through, and then there's a prayer also at the end. So um it just kind of gives you a viewpoint of some of the things that I've gone through and how I've been able to overcome those challenges. And so that I then pour into the group of campers, during the summer. So
Karlecia, I just want to thank you so much. Please don't stop. I have learned so much more about you.
I'm telling you, listen, I do it all.
Karlecia, you had closed the curtain on your life and you just
I have
put it up,
closed the curtain.
open it
I
just
ain't
a little
closed
bit
it.
like that. That's what you got to open it up. Karlecia, you do all of that.
Yeah.
That is amazing. It really is amazing. You're doing an amazing job. An amazing job. And I'm just hoping that folks, if those that are listening out there, please, please, please. And she's going to give you her contact one more time because I want you to join her because you may have a little girl. You
Mhm.
might have been that little girl who nobody paid any attention. Mother wasn't there. Mother was too busy. Father wasn't there. Older brothers and sisters, they're doing their own thing. You might have been an only child. And so your room was your sanctuary, and you never felt that you could come out and present yourself in a way that would be acceptable to people. You learned how to become cloistered and just go back into that like in a cocoon. You
Yeah.
just go there and that's your safety zone. Please, 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 we need you young ladies to come out and become all these great women that you can be, contributing to the well-being and the growth and the quality of life for people all over the world. Karlecia, thank you. Please give us your info again, and people, please write it down. She's not giving this to you as a vocal exercise. She wants to hear from you because, especially if I remember when I went to my room and buried my head in my pillow,
Yeah.
pulled the sheet over my head, and cried because nobody paid me any attention, even when the kids were teasing me. So
Yeah.
please, please, please help her to help. Go ahead. Give it again one more time, College.
So the website,
Yes.
firstladyempower.org, there you see it. Now if you want to send me I want you to go to the website for sure, to just peruse and see what we do and read about it. But if you also just want to send me a direct email, you can do that. It's KSW Swan, I mean KSWAN and then it's firstladyempower.org. That's my direct email. The website there is firstladyempower.org. Let me just also say this about the camp. One of the things that I have them do, maybe like on day 2, and then for the rest of the days, is that I have the girls say something positive about themselves. Sometimes it's difficult for them to say something positive about themselves.
Yeah.
Very difficult, very difficult. So I then also asked for each of the girls to say something positive about each of the girls.
Ooh,
And that's
nice.
after they, they meet each other,
Yeah.
and and it's so amazing to see how it's very telling that it's easier for someone to say something nice about someone
Yeah.
else
Yeah.
than
Yeah.
it is
Yeah.
themselves.
Yeah. Yeah.
It
Absolutely.
really it is. So I do that exercise like starting day 2 after you at least meet them and kind of know a little something, so it's not just something you're making up.
Right.
But it's a very good exercise, and then by the end of the the week, the girls are able to say more things about themselves that they like. So I try to encourage that you have to find the positive things about you and really hone in those things and accept the things you don't like. Just,
Right. Yes, you said something right there.
you have to, because it is what it is.
Yeah, if you don't accept the things you don't like, you won't be able to change the things you don't
Right,
like.
right, right. And here's the other thing. I know we got to go, but here's the other thing is one day I just realized I didn't make me. I didn't make me. So whoever made me, that's how they wanted to make me, which is God, right?
Right. Yeah.
And so that's on him. He made me this way. So why am I can't be mad?
Right.
That's how he want me. So if
Yeah.
anyone, when people say, you this or you look like this, listen, I didn't make me. So you take that up with my maker.
Yeah. I'm glad you said that, Carlicia, because I have this, and I say, we all have this thing that I call by no fault of my own. By no fault of my own, I'm Black. I'm a male. I'm the last of 5. I was born at one place. I got
Correct.
this. I
Right.
have, I have this medical condition. By no fault, I did not raise my hand, not even 2 hands for it. Oh,
Exactly.
and
Exactly.
your characteristics. And you said something. You said, listen, you've got to accept the things you don't like.
Right.
Because if you don't accept them, you cannot change them.
Right. Correct.
And
Right.
so, yeah. Oh, Carlicia, we got to continue this again. We got to continue this. You're not just a funny lady, you're very smart. And
Listen, I like to have a good time now. I do like
I'm a tease when I see you, right?
I have so many sides. I'm funny, but I'm serious. I
Yeah.
can, I'm professional, serious, but all that, all that.
All right.
There's a space for it all.
Okay. Well, thank you so much, Carlicia. Thank you so much. Please come back again. I will have you back. We'll talk about that. And we're going to talk about that little graduation now.
Okay,
Might
okay,
have
okay.
something for you. I'm just trying to tell you. Yeah.
Thank you so much for having me. I
Yeah. And not
appreciate
only
it.
that, I might have something for you, and a whole lot of other people out there will have something for you too. Okay, your cash app's gonna start ringing up now. So
We're
that they
always
can have.
accepting donations.
Okay,
We
so
are.
so that your the one that you're having in June have a nice little certificate for those little girls, and
Yes.
dress them up and tell their mamas to come by and see them sashay across the stage. Yeah.
Yes, yes, yes. Nice.
Wonderful. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. You're doing an amazing job. Continue doing your amazing job. Then there you have it, people. There you have it. Oh, look at all those hearts. You getting over there. Oh, lovely. Yeah. Adrian Whaley, thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Carlicia, thank you. Everybody who's read that, thank you. Thank you. And if you know anything, just please contact her again. Okay. Carlicia, thank you so much. Great program. People, just like, especially this one and all the others, like this one, follow this one, share this one, and subscribe, because at the shakeup, we're doing things and going into areas that a lot of other people may be a little bit timid to get into, but I'm not timid. And I get people on here who are willing to share parts of their lives that they have in a kept in a box for a long time. So like, follow, share, subscribe, and we will see you again. And if you would like to be a part of this show, please contact my team at drkitspeaks@gmail.com. This is Dr. Kit, aka Dr. Francis from Love and Marriage Huntsville. Please contact them, to be considered for part of this show, okay? Email them, drkitspeaks@gmail.com. They will get in touch with you. You can do it on camera. You can do it off camera. We don't mind which way you go. We just want to have you. You know what? Because your story is so important. If you don't tell it, nobody will hear it. You may not be an author in books, but I tell you what, though, when they listen to you, and they listen to the passion in your voice, and they're touched by what you say, and it taps into the essence of their past and their current and where they're headed down the future, they're going to thank you for that. Okay, so thank you so much. See you again next week, 6 p.m. Central Time. Thank you. This is Dr. Kit signing out from the Shake Up. See you next time. Bye-bye.